I think it's time to install a new shelf. Hey, I'm Jason. I own Makeover, and we fix old cars. And today, we're taking this mess and we're going to put it on a shelf. Now, I know it's not the usual fun like hot rod stuff and the welding and the painting and whatnot, but shop organization is really important. And why is it important? Well, because for one, you feel better when you work in the shop. Two, it just plain looks better. You know, you have a customer come in and everything's organized, nice and neat, and then it's just better, I promise. So our problem is we're only 2,000 square feet. We're small, and we do a lot in this building, from paint body work to mechanical work, electrical work, sheet metal work, and it's a lot. It's hard to keep organized, and we need the floor space to put our equipment against. So instead of the freestanding shelves, we're going to do a floating shelf. So that's our solution. Because we have 12-foot ceilings, we're going to go up. And here is our shelf. Now this shelf's made by FLEXIMOUNT, and we'll talk about them more real shortly here. So 2 foot wide, 6 foot long, and a full floating shelf. And they tell me it'll hold 200 to 300 pounds. I think it says on the box here at 800 pounds total. So I'm assuming that's for both shelves. And that is pretty good for us. So it's enough talking about that. Let's open this sucker up and let's see what we got inside. As I mentioned before, we're going to talk about FLEXIMOUNT, the company. And I had never heard of them up to this point. Through my research, I had found that FLEXIMOUNT is a US company dedicated to providing effortless storage and organizing solutions for garage and home. Their products are highly rated on Amazon, with their classic garage racking being bestseller, trusted by many for their quality innovation. Between that and awesome reviews on Amazon, I trust this shelf. I will say that this thing is packaged very, very well. So let's go through and see what you get. Instructions, haven't read them yet, but I'm sure they're gonna be pretty important. Next thing I really think is cool is they give you an install template, which it ought to make this thing really easy to put together, I would imagine. Shouldn't even have to measure, we'll find out. And the brackets are kind of my favorite part because, as we refer to in the industry, it has speed holes.
Whoa!
So it gives us some good characteristics. And right through here, I'm guessing, is where that shelf would mount. It just kind of sits down in there. So yeah, cool stuff. And onto the shelving. I like that it's wire, because we all have a problem with like setting bolts or whatever else we have no clue where to put on any flat surface. So with this, you can't set bolts up there and it shouldn't collect much dust. I like that. So we're gonna get to putting these up. You might hear some background noise. The guys are here to work for the day. We didn't quite get our video done before they showed up, so they're gonna be working. We're gonna put the shelf up. So that is all. Let's go over here. Let's get this thing up. We're gonna hang this one. I'm gonna show you how we hung this one, and then it's a rinse and repeat to finish the rest of them. We're gonna show you this template. They give you a really cool level that kind of fits down in there. Pretty neat. And then, like I said before, 16, 18, or 24 on center, and it gives you all your holes you need for your bracket. So we marked them already. We have something that we think we like, and we'll get this out of the way. Here you go, cameraman. You want to use a 3/16 drill bit, and according to the instructions, 60 millimeters deep. So being that this is all a 1/2 inch plywood, we're going to go all the way through the plywood with ours. Actually, this first one we will not, because there's a 2x4 in there. So our first one will go all the way with the 2x4, and the other ones will go all the way through. Oh, there we go. So side note, put the first one in first because he'll lock in, and then you put the second one in. So there you go. That is a complete shelf. They do have little tie downs that come around here to help hold that shelf into place. And that's about it. Pretty simple. So we're going to keep going here, do a little time lapse montage, and we'll show you the complete project. I'm pretty happy with this. You know, normally I find something negative to say about anything. It's pretty hard pressed on this one. But the only kind of subjective negative thing I have to say is the way we had to lay it out. Because our studs aren't 16 on center or 18 or 24 like the template, you know, our studs run the other way. We kind of had to get creative in getting it to mount. And that's not a big deal. That's not huge. It's, you know, everything's going to be a little different. But what we did is we took these, and these are 24 on center. We just basically centered them within the shelf because it looked good. And then these, I believe, are 12 inches on center. And we did that because of the end of the shelf where it fell. We wanted to keep it back this way, just to give it some support so it didn't flip up. And these little Velcro strips that they give you also aid that. They kind of tie everything together, and you get a little side-to-side movement on it, but you grab this thing right there, and it's going to hold everything that we're going to put on these shelves. So that being said, go get you some. They're under 200 bucks. I'll throw a link in the description, and I'll even throw one in the comments just so you don't miss it. Go buy some, get organized. You're going to feel much better about yourself. And that's it. That's all I got for today's video. Like, subscribe, ring that little bell, and if you excuse me, I have some brand new shelves to get stocked. See you on the next one.